Hello and welcome back to another episode of I Am Their Media's podcast, and we still don't have a name for it yet. Hi everybody, my name is Jay Ko, and we're back. I'm not sure how many of you listened to our first one, but we had so much fun doing that one that I just said, "What the heck? I'm not going anywhere, so we're gonna do it again." Again, if there's one person out there that's going to listen to this and benefit from the information that we provide, I think that's totally worth doing it. So yeah, if anything, hopefully this will encourage some of you to just make something. I mean, you're staying home, and I know you're working, but still, there's got to be more time now than you typically have. So just make something, a content, a piece of whatever, and then just put it out there, see what anybody says. Today we have a very special guest that is going to share with us her experience so far while the whole stay home and work at home thing is going on. A good client of ours and a good friend of mine, Beth Traverso, will be here via Zoom in a few minutes. I just wanted to share a quick story on what went down today for us. Some of you may have seen it on the Facebook Live. I think I posted last Friday. I was at the Wells Fargo branch that we do business with, and went there to apply for the PPP, the government assistance program. And long story short, nothing has happened yet from Wells Fargo. And what do you know, my longtime good friend Aspasia from Key Bank reached out to me and said, we'll help you. So she got me connected with one of her bankers, Zane, and we actually were able to get an account open and apply for the PPP loan. So, now that we've done it, so hopefully we'll get it approved and we'll see how that goes. So if anybody's out there that needs help on that side, let me know, and I'd be more than happy to connect you with Zane, and he can take you along for a good experience. I have a long history with KeyBank, but that story is probably for another time. Today we're going to talk about that one experience or one skill that that you can learn, because I think while going through this stay at home event, there's got to be something that you've always said that, hey, I want to do this, but I don't have time. I always wanted to learn this, but I don't have time. I know, those of you that have kids and you have to homeschool them and all that, I get it, but I feel like you still have to have a little bit more time than your normal every day, I feel like. So we're going to talk about Beth's experience. And I've already heard this story because she shared it with our brokerage meeting, our group sort of. But this could be a game changer because it's not something that she just picked up because of what's happening. I feel like this is something that she's going to be able to utilize going forward. So without a further ado, let's bring on Beth. Hey, Beth, how are you?
Hi, great, Jay. Thanks for inviting me on.
Oh, of course. Thank you so much for joining us. And I actually told everyone that you're not only a good friend of mine, but obviously our very best client, one of our very best client that we're working with currently. And I kind of laid out the foundation. I was very fascinated by what you shared during our brokerage meeting about how you picked up the skill in terms of using Zoom, and especially how you're able to meet with someone virtually and basically land a listing without physically meeting and shaking hands. So I'm just going to give it to you to just take it away.
Yeah. So it surprised me too. It's not something I would have expected. If you were to rewind a couple of months ago and say, well, this is what you're going to be doing in March and April, I would not have believed it. But I think we've all had to sharpen and bring in new creative solutions to work with the circumstances at hand. And I think my clients understand that as well. And so like those particular clients, they called me and we understood that we wanted to be safe and not do any in-person meetings unless it really was necessary. Right. And I decided that we would just try to do it all. You know, we were in it together. It's like, hey, let's just do this together, figure this out, you know, and how about we try this? How about we try that? And everyone was kind of, you know, they were really on board with it. And because it was an experiment for me, I'd never done that before. Right. But now I feel like I like strengthened that muscle enough that I feel like I can do that. And I do feel like it's going to be a skill, doing the virtual listing presentations or any kind of Zoom meeting where you're sharing ideas virtually with people from anywhere or groups of people from anywhere. That's can be a very useful skill. And I think that after all of this is over and whatever the new version of normal is, I think that's going to be a carryover that's going to be useful for years to come. Right.
So it's. I understand you had you actually had like a listing presentation on Zoom, and without actually being there ever, you know, you were able to get them to work with you. So what was that like? I mean, like I guess the first thing I want to know is like after you were done, were you like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that worked, or like what were you going? What were your feelings?
Well. I was a little nervous that it wasn't going to stick for some reason. Cause I was all excited, but I was like, well, I hope they don't like change their mind and say, sorry, you know, but thankfully they haven't done that, you know, but, it was totally different than how I've normally done it. So, it was actually 2 different meetings. The first one we did a walkthrough cause I'm the kind of person I need to see the house. Right. So, I did through a FaceTime where they just flipped the camera around and walked around and, you know, I just asked her to point to the different things I wanted to see and asked all the same questions I would ask if I was there in person, took tons of notes, like 3-4 pages of notes, had her like go outside and, you know, show me the streetscape and everything else, you know, things you don't normally see online. And, it was really, really useful. Then I could use that to work on my pricing, and I prepared my presentation. And there was we did the walkthrough on Friday, and I did the listing presentation on Monday. And I used that time to do my analysis and also to prepare the presentation for screen sharing. And I thankfully have it already set up as a slideshow, but you know, somebody doesn't have to have a keynote or a PowerPoint to be able to do the screen share. Right. So if somebody's going to be trying to do this, the main thing I would want to emphasize is don't try to make it harder than it has to be. Anything that you can just turn into a PDF file that you can share. Right. You can do that. Or somebody else suggested you could even just like take the cloud CMA and just like scroll through it on the screen share. Don't make it harder than it has to be. And it still is a people business. You know, It's about talking to them. That the visual is so much better than I've tried to do listing presentations over the phone in the past. And it just didn't seem like it's hard to click with somebody when you don't know if they're really paying attention or engaged. And so if you can see a person's eyes, whether it's their real eyes or just like through the computer screen, like I'm looking at you right now, I feel like we're connecting, we're talking, we can get rapport, you know, and I can tell if something's like confusing them or if they have a question just by kind of observing, you know, same as I would if we're in person. So, and I so when did you actually go over there and meet them? It's like, I actually haven't yet been over there. You're going to be helping us with the photos. We're going to be shooting it, right? Okay. Yeah. So, and then that's going to be like the first visit over there. Gotcha. And I'm not going to be there when you're there. So I'll have to figure out how we're going to do that. But the interesting thing is like, I really feel like Not that I would want to, but I feel like if I had to, I probably could be anywhere in the world with an internet connection and like start from zero and go all the way through to a closed sale.
Right.
I feel like I could do all of it virtually at this point.
I mean, not that you're gonna, not that you're gonna make this like your main practice going forward, but if need be, the flexibility is definitely there. And
it's nice to know that business doesn't have to stop.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want people to think that I'm like want to go out there and, go into people's homes and all. So this is all about how you don't have to go. Business can go on without having to put anybody
of course
unnecessary this time. So
of course.
And it's just nice to know that we don't have to just sit back and wait because people's lives go on.
Right.
With these particular folks I'm talking about, they have a need to move and they don't feel like they can wait. So
right.
I'm here to help.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I just want to make it very clear. So what Beth was talking about is there's only, the rule right now is that there could only be 2 people for whatever reason in the house. So when we show up to shoot, she's not going to be there to make sure that we can take, we're abiding by that law. So just to make it very clear, what I could actually do is I'm very curious because you're always very meticulous in how you get your listings prepped. And I know you pay multiple visits to your listings to do the walkthrough and get it all ready. And I always appreciate the fact that when we show up, it's the most gorgeous thing ever. Right. So I'm very curious to see how this is going to look, knowing that you haven't been there until probably the day of. And what we can actually do is, when we're all ready and have it listed, we can, link the video and the photos down below so people can kind of, take a look at what that would look like. I think that would be pretty fun.
Yeah, and then I don't know if everybody listening will know, like this is recorded in early April 2020, when we've got all this stuff going on.
Yes.
I mean, that's a given. People have probably already figured that out by now if they don't already know it.
Yes.
But
yes.
yeah, so different times than normal. And I'm gonna have to contact them tomorrow, and because I know they're still getting ready right up to the last minute, and see how I can go over there because again, there can only be one of them home,
right.
And there's a chance I may not be able to see it until you're over there. So
right.
It all works out. Another thing, I know that you got me covered there and it's going to look great.
Right.
And it's a beautiful house. So I'm not worried about it.
Absolutely.
But, and it's been really well kept. But the other thing is the stager would go over and do a consultation. And she was able to help them out through a combination of FaceTime and still photos.
Wow.
So that she can give them guidance on what to do. And then she also dropped off some items for them to use in their staging.
Okay.
She did sort of a drop off at the front door kind
like
of
a curbside pickup for staging items.
Yeah,
okay.
Right. So it's creating all of these, logistical challenges on all fronts,
right.
So, and I think these days, because of what's going on, like, I think everybody out there in the brokerage and buyer, real estate community are, everyone's a little more understanding,
right.
too, because, hey, we're all just working with, challenging circumstances the best we can. And so,
right. And I think maybe we'll just take a few seconds to give a shout out to Catherine, who always does
absolutely
awesome job.
Yeah. She's a rock star stager. So yeah, so I really feel like this kind of tool, the Zoom. Even my kids today, like my 8-year-old had 3 different Zoom calls today.
Wow.
It was interesting with his various teachers,
right.
Because we're trying to get schoolwork done,
right.
and I don't know how to teach kids, it's not I'm not a teacher. I've always had utmost respect, but even more now.
Absolutely.
So we're all just kind of trying to figure this thing out. And, there's some technical things too about it that I feel like I'm getting better at too, like learning how to manage a crowd of people on Zoom and and how to be a participant too. That's another little skill that a lot of people don't know how to do, like how to speak up, how to chat, how to see who's on the call.
Right.
I figured out how to change a little name in the corner when my kids were using it. So it would be their name and their classmates would see their name and not my name, and how to put Mount Si behind me and so you don't see the clutter in my office, and like all these little things that you can do, and like getting a decent camera and a microphone and, little stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I definitely am a big believer, and perhaps maybe what we can do over here is maybe even create like a little tutorial on, how to, do certain things. I think I always kind of make the mistake of assuming that, everybody probably knows what I already know, but then that's not always the case. So, we might be able to throw something out there. That kind of shows, how to screen share and incorporate your iPad into your presentation and things like that. Before this whole thing started, you told me like we were really excited because you had about like dozen, maybe 15 listing or so. Just real quick, I know we still have a good amount that's booked, and then we have a bunch of them like in our coming soon category. How do you see the market kind of going right now? Is it what you thought it would be? Is it maybe a little bit slower? Is it more? What do you think?
It's an interesting combination of things, and I've been doing real estate for over 20 years now and seen all kinds of different ups and downs in the market. This is unique, and one of the things that's interesting about it is it's been both slower and stronger than I would have expected it to be. So, I mean, slower, I guess I kind of would have expected that given all the challenges and everything. That makes sense. But it can be slow and it can be strong at the same time. So I found that with my active listings, what I'm seeing right now are more, people are doing like for their first showing, they're doing the drive-by and they're checking it out and they're looking online and they're watching the 3D tours and the videos and everything else that you guys have been doing, which is fantastic. I've noticed a huge uptick in web activity on all that stuff, just the views online of everything that we've been doing. And that's what people are doing who are still planning on making a move. They're at home, they're on the computer, they're listing inventory understandably is way down. So I think that's balancing out the buyers who may be waiting it out also. So it's interesting because ramping up to all of this was the strongest spring selling season, was just ramping up, the strongest season I've seen in about, 2 or 3 years. So that was just getting going, and it was like somebody put a kink in the hose and then all the demand just stopped. And I'm hoping, we can only speculate, but that when that kink is removed and its demand is able to flow freely and people are able to list and buy and sell freely again, that demand is going to remain strong. And that's what I'm seeing still with a lot of listings out there, getting offers, going pending faster than maybe I would have expected. I'm totally with you. Like
we've shot a few, like we shot one in Mill Creek that and this was when we were not, the photographers were not allowed to be present. So I went with the intent, I went because we were going to be co-listing it. And then I actually took the photo with my cell phone. And even the listing with the cell phone photos actually went pending in 3 days. So it's so weird. Like you just kind of never know, I guess.
And so sometimes sellers are needing to put things out that maybe don't have the same kind of listing prep as normal. And I think buyers are giving people a bit of a pass on that, at least for now, you know? So there's only so much a person can do. And sometimes you just the show must go on, and we just make the best of it. So it's good to see. It's actually reassuring to me to see a lot of things selling in a relatively short period of time, and good offers still coming in. It's kind of a testament to the strength of our local real estate market that to see that happening.
And I do agree with you. I think when this is all over, hopefully Cinco de Mayo is when we go out and celebrate. But whenever that might be, I do feel like we're gonna kind of, how we typically have like as we get into mid-July, we kind of get a little bit slow, and then like mid to late September, October, it kind of picks up. I feel like we'll just kind of not have those slow period and just kind of be busy just all the way through the rest of the year. Or
I think you're right. It might last the entire year because people's lives, they still want to live their lives and they want to make the moves that they want to make. And there might even be more, who knows? We just need to look back and see how things play out. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of people right now who've been spending a whole lot of time at home and maybe deciding that maybe they're not really happy with that house for whatever reason.
Because they're spending so much time there.
Yeah.
They're
like
saying,
this house, I'm just, not working for me anymore. And
staying home last 2 months was like enough. Like I want to move to a different house. I could totally see that actually.
Mm-hmm. I bet you there's people out there thinking that.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah. And then other people are like, yeah, I really love my house. It's a nice place to spend a lot of time, so, but
there you go.
Yeah, but life does go on. And I think the timing is just going to be a little more slow and people just need to be a little more patient.
Right.
While we work through these challenges. But yeah, it is nice to be able to find new ways to serve our clients and help them and the community, to move forward through all of this.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I think that's the important thing in all this. I had a little rant earlier this morning because I was so tired of seeing some agents out there that are like, oh my gosh, like we're essential service, and I was just like, just knock it off. Like, definition of essential are the medical professionals that are working in the hospital, the police officers, the people that are providing grocery at the store. I mean, hey, like I know what we do is important because it is important, but then like at this time, this very moment, there's nowhere near like we're essential. So let's just look out for one another, help each other out, and if there's a client out there that needs our help, we'll most certainly help them. But then, I don't know. I just kind of felt like I don't really like how some industry out there, they're taking advantage of this situation. Like for example, I don't know when you bought your webcam, but I was helping another agent kind of shopping for how to set up a home office. And I recommended to him the same webcam that I have, which I bought for $69. They're being sold on Amazon for $250.
Wow, that price gouging is so not
and I'm
cool.
Just like, is that I don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is I know you're out there hustling and you're doing everything you can to help out the community and help your clients. I certainly and actually we at I Am Third Media appreciate you as a client, as a friend. And me personally as a mentor, because I am a realtor as well. So we appreciate you a whole bunch, and thank you for joining us and giving us the sharing us your experience with Zoom, and I hope that this is going to encourage a whole bunch of people out there to go out there and learn it.
Thank you, Jay. We love you guys and appreciate you so much, and it's just fun to be on here. And if anybody, I'm no expert on Zoom or anything really, but if people want to ask me questions, I'm more than happy to share what I know.
Yeah, absolutely. So Beth can be found on Facebook, facebook.com/Beth Traverso Group, on Instagram, instagram.com/the Beth Traverso Group, as well as BethTraversoGroup.com. So yeah, definitely, reach out to her, reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to share. And like I said, I think we'll try to find some time to put together a little tutorial here and there. But in the meantime, Beth, thank you so much for joining us. And I can promise you this is not going to be the first time or the last time that you're going to be with us. We still haven't found a name for this podcast yet, but I was just like, what the heck? We're just going to go with it. And then we'll just kind of figure things out as we go along. So
you can just make any kind of name and then just change it later. Yeah, it's like, I'm all about like I'm all about like done is better than perfect.
Absolutely.
And so I'm always just doing things that aren't perfect and then just kind of working on it as we go. So yeah, so I'm all for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate you, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Jay.
All right. Take care. All right, so that was Beth Traverso from the Beth Traverso Group with Remax Northwest. So she is by far one of our favorite clients that we're working with, and she, I mean, definitely does a lot of volume. So I hope that you can take away from this as. And it doesn't have to be Zoom. I mean, it could be just anything, just, putting the camera out there and recording, or, I mean, whatever that might be. I just feel like you need to come out of this with at least one set of skill that you otherwise did not have coming into this period of, stay home, stay safe. Because otherwise I feel like you're going to fall behind. So, whatever that is, and if there's anything that you would like to learn that is kind of media driven or camera or photo, like whatever, I'm certainly up for teaching anybody, and we'll do a better job of kind of creating more tutorial type of content that's gonna be able to help people learn new skill sets. So hopefully that was helpful. And as I mentioned earlier, if you are in need of that payroll protection program help, my friends at KeyBank would be more than happy to help you. So shoot me a message, reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to connect you with Zane Doyle over at KeyBank. All right, so yeah, that's about it. So the first episode, we had like 3 guests. We went almost an hour. So I think going forward, what we're going to do is try to keep this 30 minutes or less, so that no one's going to be like, oh my gosh, like I got to listen to this for like another hour. So with that being said, I would love to hear from you in terms of what types of things that you would like to hear. And I'm sure I'm like the gazillion second, real estate related podcast out there. But I would like to think that we're more, our topics are more generally on how you can develop or better your skill set to be able to serve your clients and your spheres and your community. So, we're here to help you be able to serve your clients and community better. So yeah, with that, I will be checking out until next time, whenever that might be, probably next week. Stay home, stay safe, and be good. See ya.